we both had time on a Friday to sit down and talk about some games. And it's been so long that I forgot that we'd already talked about Solasta, so I thought we were going to talk about Solasta again. But we're going to play Solasta tomorrow, so that's probably why I got Solasta heavy on the brain.
I mean, we can talk about Celeste next week because we'll be talking about our
Yeah.
experience in
I
passing
mean,
lives.
Larry Owen was making it sound like we ain't going to be playing any Solasta tomorrow night, but I guess we'll see what happens. All right. So, Pathfinder 2e in Foundry. All right, I finally went and set everything up. I spent the. I'll be honest. I'm gonna put the price tag out there. I believe I spent over $100 getting all three books of the Adventure Path as Foundry VTT modules, and I was like, it's a little steep because I'm used to paying $50 for a module at Roll20. But I also am used to paying $50 for a module on Roll20 and then not really liking what I get. You know what I'm saying? Like the maps
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the maps aren't even compatible. Sometimes they don't give you the miniatures. They just give you a red circle with a label on it that says that's what this monster's supposed to be. Um a lot of things that I'm like, was this worth $50? For example, my kid tried to run Strixhaven on Roll20 and half the maps wouldn't load, and then it definitely wasn't a $50 value when they actually sat down and started using it. Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, admittedly a fan-made product or a third-party product, um, it was not great. It required a lot of fixes to get the maps to align properly, to get them to size properly. Overall, frequently feels like you're fighting an uphill battle with that sort of Roll20 content. There's also the matter over in Roll20 of do you own the monsters or not, right? Because the adventures are really only going to give you the SRD monsters and the monsters that come with the adventure. And in a way, that sort of limits the monsters that they will sometimes use in an adventure because they don't want to reference, say, Mordenkainen's if that would force you to go buy Mordenkainen's or if it would cost them more paper to essentially print that Mordenkainen stat block. So a lot of WotC adventures, it feels like you're just getting the same monsters over and over and over again. Always bugbears all the time. Always thugs all the time. You're getting those same monsters over and over and over again. So I just I I was like, $30 a pop or $30 and change, and then plus taxes, all that. It's going to be over $100. Is it worth it for an adventure path that goes 1 to 10? And I wasn't sure about it until I started playing in the Abomination Vaults game with Ashwin on Tuesdays. And when I saw how quality that was, I was like, all right, here's my $104 or whatever, right? Like, no problem.
Yep.
No problem. Everybody was like, you've got to see it to believe it. You got to, like, it's layered maps. It's got everything is already set up for you. Certain parts of the map have, like, animations built in or transitions built in. They got notes built in to tell you what's going on. Special lighting. All the monsters are there. They've got miniatures. The miniatures are pop out of their frames. Portrait pogs, my favorite kind of miniature. Like, all of it is just sounding so good. So I was like, I gotta try it out, and I did, and I'm very impressed. So what you're looking at here, yeah, that's you. What you're looking at here is my landing page for Outlaws, which I mean, looks pretty fucking cool, if I'm being honest. Looks pretty fucking cool. I've got this right here, which is a one shot I'm gonna run before the campaign starts to sort of see how some people play together, to figure out better group composition for the two groups that I'm building. It's basically just a zombicide one shot, just zombies in the Wild West kind of thing. But I got these two groups. I'm really excited about it. And I started to like kind of crack it open. And I was like, what do we got? Well, you got a lot. So over here in the scenes, and I guess I could zoom in even more. So over here, you've got punks in a powder keg, which is the first part of the game, and right away you've got the saloon, and they've got the downstairs of the saloon, and all of this is of course made in Incarnate, and I like Incarnate style, so I was pretty happy with that. They got roof layer built in already. They've got NPC minis down and about in the world, like no problem. And all of them are popping out of their frames. These are like named NPCs from the adventure. They've got like dynamic art that pops out of the frames. They got a custom frame that's themed to the adventure. What? Like I was like really, yeah, I was like really impressed with that. As you're kind of making your way around, it's got look at this, custom frames for all of the journal entries. So all of the journal entries have these like steampunk style, style frames around them, which is incredible. It's like having the whole PDF just there. Everything's got bookmarks to like get you through the document faster. It's got, oh, roll a perception check. You click it and it pops up the window to roll a perception check. It doesn't just tell you to roll a perception check. It just helps you do the perception check. I mean, this isn't too much spoiler. It's just like the it's just the opening.
Thing too.
It's just the opening area.
If you click the little text box next to the perception check, it'll pop it into chat for your player to do it.
Incredible.
And it will already have the DC and everything like that set
up.
Yeah.
So if I hit that athletics button right there, it pops it up and it says force open athletics, and then they would have their character, they would click on it, and they would take the, it would just, it's incredible. Like the integration is absolutely bananas. And this beautiful, like custom frame, custom tokens. I was like, this is pretty cool, right? Then I noticed that in addition to everything being lit, in addition to everything having walls and all that, they were like, hey, maybe you don't like Incarnate style maps. Do you want the original maps? Yeah, they included those too. They included the original maps from the game, and if you don't like the style of the Incarnate maps, they didn't just include them, but they're also prepped with miniatures ready to go. It's crazy. It's crazy. They didn't have to do that. That's like added value in my opinion, because you know maybe you don't like the look of Incarnate and you wanted the original maps. Well, they made sure that they worked, and they made sure that they fit to the grid, and they made sure that they loaded properly. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So they've got a big map of the city down here, which is really neat. And then I don't believe it's set up to let you travel like the Benios maps are, so I'd probably have to do that myself. But you do click on everything to pull up information about it straight from the adventure, which is really, really cool. If we go over to the actors, you can see that each adventure has all of the NPCs and the monsters that it needs for that particular adventure. Now, everything core to Pathfinder was free. So everything, you know, the player's handbook, the GM's guide, all that is accessible for free. All those tables are accessible for free. All those items are accessible for free. If you go over to your compendiums, all that's included for free. Every monster, every NPC from every published campaign, all the vehicles, all the iconic characters, all the pseudo-iconic characters, everybody's there. The spells, the actions, the firearms, the heritage, everything is available for free. It's nuts. The only money I spent is I spent the money for this adventure path so that I could have the adventure path already built for me. I technically could have accessed everything about the adventure that I needed just by buying the PDF for much less and then importing it and doing it myself. But why not spend a little bit more to have this gorgeous setup already done for you? Incredible. Yeah. Definitely worth the value. The other money that I dropped is I spent $60 on the token pack. And the token pack is incredible. Look at this giant dragonfly. So this giant dragonfly, I don't know how they're managing to do this, but not only does it pop out of the frame, but it pops out of its defined area. Like, its wings are like bigger than a token size. And I don't know how they're doing this, honestly. And it works like really, really well. And you could also see that this blunt giant dragonfly is using token mold, which is pretty cool. Yeah, but like this went and automatically plugged in official art for every single monster, and any monster that they didn't have official art for, they went and got art for it. There's no like red circle with a white label on it. And there's
Yeah.
no manually plugging it in myself. I didn't pay $60 for the tokens that I then had to insert manually into every single creature. It went and automatically installed all of this art onto every single thing in the bestiaries 1, 2, 3, and every monster and NPC listing from all of the adventures that didn't have art. It went and added art for all of that for $60. And that's a one-time thing. $60 and now I've got art for all the monsters. I'm good to go. I could drag any monster out and it's got a beautiful art pop out of the frame Pog token. I'm loving it. So I was like, at that point, I was prepared to spend more money if I had to. I had some ideas. I was like, what am I going to do about Faxpiration? What am I going to do about doing the session recap? I don't want to give out a shitload of hero points. Not everybody even likes to use hero points or needs hero points. So what other rewards could I get? And then I remembered that they had these things called hero point cards. And the hero point cards allow you to do some really dope stuff outside of the rules. And I thought, that's kind of spicy. That'll be the reward for answering the Faxpiration question and for answering the recap. Is you'll get one of those cards that will last that session. So I was like, damn, if only there was a way to integrate that. Well, there is a way to integrate it. So if I go to this character, and I go to the abilities here, I have a mod installed for hero actions. I just say, draw a hero action. It draws it for me, turns it into a consumable action, and now I can do this rending swipe once during the session. I use it, it disappears, and I'm done. But wait, I was prepared to go buy the PDF of the hero point deck and then install the hero point deck myself, and then, like make a table out of the information. Oh no, all of the decks, the fumble deck, the critical hits, the hero points, it's all available for free. It's all available for free already. These are like $10 and $15 a piece. They're all available for free. Because I was like, how are we going to do succeed at cost? So I'm thinking like, if you are within one of the number that you need, you could say that you succeeded, but then you have to draw a fumble card. Well, how do we get the fumble cards? Don't worry about it. We've got that covered because all that's included. All that's included for free. I was like, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy that all this stuff is just included for free. If I go, yeah.
It's like what you're paying for is like not so much the content, but the convenience of having it set up and presented and delivered for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels really good because it makes our jobs easier when things are presented in a way like that.
And here's the thing, it doesn't stop there. That's just like, what are you getting for your money kind of thing. But like, what are you getting when you play in here? There's so much. There's so much.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I've got this level 4 giant dragonfly, right? And I'm like, level 4, that's going to roll some low-level people or whatever. But I'm bound and determined that this is the thing that they ran into, or random encounter table says this is what they ran into. You could always just click this weak button on the character sheet, and it immediately downgrades it by 1 level. And if you've got a party and they're just like real weak, or they just don't understand the system yet and they keep getting their asses kicked, you could just sneak into an encounter real quick and hit the weak button on everybody, and now they're all going to be weak monsters, and now your party might actually have a chance. If your party is a bunch of badass OP meta-spec bruisers and they're just wrecking everything, you just hit this little elite button, and now the monster's like 1 level higher if you needed to. So there's official adjustment, mathematical adjustment on the fly, built in with no thinking, on your part whatsoever. It's just built in there. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just floored by this integration. And then I know that for 5e, a big selling point is, well, I can import my character from D&D Beyond. Well, they've got their own version of that with PathBuilder. So on your character sheet, there's this Path Muncher mod that you can install, and then you just punch in the export code for your character, and it sets the whole damn character up for you.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I'm loving it. Like, I'm loving it. It's really, really good. Here's a fun story that I have too. I wanted to run this adventure, this one-shot adventure, which was Headshot the Rot, right? So this over here. I wanted to run this. And I was like prepared mentally. I went and bought the adventure for $10, $9.99. And then I was prepared to go in and build the thing, because that's what I do, right? I build, you get the adventure, you have to build the adventure, right? I'm like, I hope I don't have to make too many maps. Before I went to do this, people on the server were like, have you made sure that that's not covered by PDF import mod? So there's a mod for Foundry called PDF import, and if some of the Paizo adventures and one-shots are covered under this mod, and all you have to do is feed it your official Paizo PDF, because they watermark that shit or whatever, and then it will spit out a module for you. It will take that PDF and it will spit out a Foundry module for you, which is just incredible. Now, that did not happen with this one. This one was not covered, this Headshot the Rat. So I was like, well, I'm going to see if anybody's made some maps for this online. So within like 3 minutes of Googling, it turns out that somebody else had made this module in Incarnate, and they had included the street level, they had included a second story level that was mentioned in the adventure but not actually mapped in the adventure, and they had included a roof level for everything. And then they're like, just in case you use levels, I also built it with levels. And I hadn't used levels from Bailey Wiki before, but I installed it just to see how it worked for this. Absolutely phenomenal. I could run the entire adventure, first floor, second floor, the whole and exterior off of one map with how well they have it set up. And this is a fan-made map that's got roof layers, it's got second and first floor, everything is already lit, everything is already walled. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. I'm just like, this community, these Pathfinder kids, you could say whatever you want about Pathfinder kids, that they're a little anal retentive, and that they're kind of like, they live or die by the rules, and that they're like math nerds, and they're number centric, and all that. Whatever you want to say, right? Here's what I'm going to say. They're passionate about this hobby, and they're passionate about the system. And like 3 minutes, I find like the entire like one shot already done up. And here's the thing. It was done up as a Foundry mod, a free Foundry mod. This dude on Reddit, he's just like, here's the link, here's the manifest URL, just install it, go nuts. And so that's all I had to do, is I just like installed this dude's manifest URL, and boom, the one shot's already prepped for me. I was like losing my mind. And then I had to put the monsters in, and it was as simple as just using quick insert and like just looking up the monsters. And that was it. I just dragged them into the scene. And they already had their tokens set up. And they already had everything set up the way they're supposed to be set up. I didn't have to do anything. And I'm just like, it's like blowing my mind. It's like blowing my mind. Like, the level of support here is incredible. This is what you get when people care about their brand and they care about their product. Like, this isn't just like hoisted off on like some third party. Like, these guys are taking this shit seriously, and they want you to have a good time running their adventures. And I'm just blown away. I haven't even started running it yet. I've only been playing in one of the paid ones, Abomination Vaults, and then I've been prepping this, and it's just like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, the level of support, the detail, the thought behind everything. I'm so excited by this product, and I'm just so excited to keep playing Pathfinder, because I feel rewarded for choosing to run this adventure. I feel like I am being taken care of as the customer because I chose this product and I made a good choice. It was a hard decision for me when Raiders of the Serpent Seas came out, and I started reading through the player's guide and stuff, and I started reading through the adventure, and I was like, this is going to be even more work than Odyssey of the Dragonlords was. And I'm so exhausted from carrying that campaign, from building custom maps and improving encounters and trying to make everything make sense and having to build every scene from scratch and having to replace maps that were too hard to read or didn't make any sense and having to redesign dungeons that didn't make any sense and that the maps were either too big or too small or they weren't set to the grid properly because they were hand drawn and all these things. I just looked at Raiders and I was like, I don't want to do that again. Like I don't want to pick up and carry this campaign for 3 years on my fucking back. And it was a hard ass decision because I love my Monday night players and I'm going to miss having that group dynamic, but like I could not bring myself to do that again. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to run anything. Then I read this Alkenstar player's guide and I got pretty excited about it. And I picked up the adventure and I was like, this looks like a really fun adventure. Now, having installed the Foundry stuff and looking at the Foundry stuff, I feel that I made the right choice. Like, I feel good about running this game. I don't feel nervous about running the game. I feel like I could start this game next week, just have the weekend to kind of review, the adventure, but I'm done. Like, it's prepped. It's ready to go. Like, there's no stress. There's no anxiety. There's no, like, am I going to be ready for the game? Am I prepped enough? Yeah, I'm prepped enough. It's all there. It's all there. Like, it's just all there. Like, it's wild to me. Benios Maps, I sort of had this feeling, but I was doing a lot of changes to the 5th edition system to kind of make it a low magic system and increase the survival horror and, like, add a crafting system and all that. I was making work for myself with Benios Maps. But Benios Maps, through Moulinet, you just kind of like, pay for the Patreon, install Curse of Strahd. Technically, you're ready to go. He even includes the SRD miniatures and monsters and stuff that are provided with the adventure. So, like, this is like that, but even better. Because I love the look of those animated maps from Benios Maps, but I also love that these maps are set up with like roof layers and all the notes are like there. The PDF is beautifully integrated with bookmarks, hot links, tools to make it easier to run. Oh man, yeah, I'm into it.
It's the stuff that's made here is made for the program, made for the system.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of designed for it to be like a pick up and play type of thing. Like, okay, you know how to play Pathfinder. Here, pay this money, and you're paying for something that's ready for you to start playing as soon as you pay for it.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I'm so happy with my purchase. I'm so happy with my decision. So yeah.
And it's really nice having like a company that's like integrated with this program. Mm-hmm. So like the system is officially supported. We get all that stuff for free, but like when new stuff gets in, it's updated pretty regularly. When a new Adventure Path comes out, it comes out at the same time as the Foundry module comes out. Like the system is like part of the program is also part of the system. No.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And you said that you had the beginner's box installed. Mm-hmm. Did you want to show that off? I can
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Here, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Probably gonna push me out the way.
Here, I'll turn this on and then I'll pop this out. And then we'll go back to staff voice. So yeah, you're gonna disappear for a sec, but that's all right. Yep. You're still here with us in spirit. So yeah, go ahead and guide us through. All
right. So with the beginner box, let me see here.
I think at this point the beginner's box is kind of a spoilertopia. A lot of people on our server have already played it and run it and everything else. So yeah, if you're watching this and you don't want to have the beginner's box of Pathfinder spoiled, I guess look away or stop watching for a few minutes. But yeah, I just, I haven't even got a chance to check this one out. I picked this one up also during my protest with your wallet. What the fuck are you doing, Wizards of the Coast? Where I picked up a bunch of Paizo products to kind of check them out and see what's going on. Yeah.
So for those who have not imported a adventure before, it works out pretty simple. You get a compendium. You click inside of it. You click this button, and then a little thing pops up. Should pop up, and it's actually what do you want to? It tells you everything that's imported. It's going to put them in folders. There's even like little import options here. Like, do you want to use the better maps or the ones that come, the official ones? Do you want to have it automatically set the front page as your for the front page of this adventure? Things that it even has like, hey, we'll automatically assign some of these macros that we have for the things to your hotbar for you. So it does all of that, and then which is really great. And then the way they kind of like set up their maps is really great. Like they do the whole background foreground thing.
Oh, I love it. I feel so lazy. Like when I'm making maps now, I'm like, should I start thinking in layers? Like even in Incarnate, should I start like thinking in layers? Should I be like, oh, that's gonna wait for the top layer, flatten it, or clone it, and then flatten it, and then build the next layer on top of it? Like, should I be doing that? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it'd be pretty cool. Like you have like I don't know, somebody walking through here, and then they walk under something, and you have another token that's like up in the air over these things.
The first night of Abomination Vaults, when Redacted was up in the spider webs or whatever, and then we were under the spider webs, I was like, are there layers on this map? And like Ash is like, yeah, and I was just like, what? Like, I am so used to getting like the bare minimum for my money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then the fact that somebody went and remade the maps in Incarnate with custom assets in many cases that still matched the Incarnate style, something I'm terrible about. The fact that they made one layer at all, the fact that they made a map at all, I was like, that's awesome. I remember paying for Ghost of Saltmarsh and getting fucking black and white maps. Like, no detail. Like, black and white maps. And they were like, yeah, they're vintage. Get the fuck out of here. Like, they're vintage. So I had to go and replace all those maps. I had to track down people that were replacing all those maps. I had to back Patreons to get maps. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, $30 a book, $100 after tax for all for this adventure path. Maybe that's too much money. Is it though? I don't gotta go get a bunch of Subiku maps to replace everything. I don't gotta spend hours in Incarnate making like new maps. It's all here, baby.
Between the amount of time you spent working on it and the amount of Patreons you had to back to get it to that quality.
Oh yeah,
spent the same amount of money.
Oh, way more than that, man. I mean, it's a side business for me, so I gotta do my taxes and shit like that. So I'm well aware of how much I spend supporting Patreon, supporting map makers, buying third-party products, and then my time is literally recorded. Like, because I stream my prep. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours have spent, like, prepping and building and creating. And here, it's all here. It's all done. Yeah. Feels good. Yeah. Feels real good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like with this beginner box, they even do go through, they have the everything, all the journal notes tagged for each place.
Yes.
And, this whole entire Foundry module and the beginner box in general is to teach you how to play the system. But the way this Foundry module is set up is also there to help you learn how to use Foundry too. So they even give you stuff like, let me go to, I think it was this one, Barricade. Mm-hmm. They even give you just like, hey, this is how doors work in Foundry.
Beautiful.
And like in this case, they had something special set up. They had a way for there's a barricade there, and there's supposed to be an adjustment for when the barricade blows is broken down. I believe there's a macro for it somewhere here.
There it goes. Yes. Yeah. How do you want to remove it? Loudly or quietly? Yep. Wild.
They say they removed it loudly.
Yep.
It opens it up. There's a sound that plays, and it updates the map.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Music built into the adventure.
Yeah.
Sound effects built into the adventure. Like, what? That's crazy.
They even have, if you have, when you're dealing with loot and stuff like that. Here's like an example. So this is supposed to be an encounter.
Yeah.
It's kind of spoilers, but they'll give you the little breakdown for it. They'll tell you about what the encounter is, the monsters there. They tell you what the loot is, and then that's in the journal. But they even have a little actor here. If you click on it, it tells you what the loot is, and
yes,
you can just drag that onto people.
And now, admittedly, people out there are gonna say, "But CRASHDOM, like you can get mods for 5e that make merchants and that make lootable containers, and they make the monsters lootable." But here's the thing:
when 5e updates and it goes away, then what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, I spent hours building out the merchants of the town of Valakai for my Curse of Straw game. I updated to 10. And they all broke. Okay? So, like, kind of sucks. They're built in. Everything's built in. You kill a monster, there's an option in the settings to make the monster turn into loot. Like, so its corpse stays on the map, and the players can, Diablo style, go loot the corpse if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And when Anne Gregerson's shit drops, because she got the stretch goal for Foundry VTT mod, when her monster loot mod drops for Foundry, oh my god, it's going to be amazing. Because you're going to be able to just monster loot these creatures straight off the minis. Can you do that in 5e? Yes, if you make the loot, and then you drag the loot over to the actor, and then you make sure, and then you get the other mod that turns them into a loot, and then but like, it's all built in. It's all built in,
and it's just the sense of consistency between, because it's officially supported, and that's the best part about this. That because it's officially supported, like you have the certainty that at least when something official comes out, it's going to be a part of this, and the system is integrated into us, how we run it, which makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
But there's that. Some other things about the just the mod support too. So you could do all those mods for D&D 5e, and there also is mods for Pathfinder as well. And a lot of those mods, a lot of times they're like test beds until they get officially entered into the system, and you can tell they are like that because they usually have them noted that way inside the description for the mod. So a lot of times it's it's great to see like the progression, because like it will have a mod and then eventually it becomes they update so rapidly for the Pathfinder system that that mod that we've been using becomes a part of the main system, and then at that point then you don't have to worrying about updates anymore.
Yeah, I am.
At least for the system though, and paying what we pay for and getting that use out of that. The beginner box comes with the dungeon. They have the town map. They have shops built in too, even though this is not even part of the adventure, but it's this thing is supposed to be a jumping off point to other products. Which I think I remember you talking about that with original Paizo projects, that like Pathfinder 1 adventures, a lot of times they were like just advertisements for the next adventure.
Yeah,
I think you mentioned that before.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
Doing it here too. And I mean, if the product's good and the quality's there, I mean, why not?
Now, what's interesting about this Otari is not as nice as the Otari that comes with Abomination Vaults.
So they probably made a new map for that AP.
Oh yeah, it's very, very detailed. Yeah. And I do like how they included the originals again, which they didn't need to bother doing, but they included the originals in addition to the upgraded incarnate versions. Which for one is very respectful of the original artist. I want to put that out. And for two, it does give people options. Options. Like, if somebody's like, I like this because it's cleaner and it's simpler, that's fine. I
Yep.
wonder if they bothered to make these layered though, the originals, or if it's only.
I think they are. I think they are still.
What? Oh my
Let me see
god.
here. Oh no, no, I know they're not.
Oh, they're not? Okay.
No, they're not.
All right. Yeah, that would have. I think that would have been too extra at that point if they
Oh,
bothered
actually, let me check.
going to some spider webs.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Nah.
It's not.
Okay.
Yep.
But still, what a nice thing to include on top of everything else. I was very happy with that. And because they're using that incarnate style, if you do need supplemental maps, all of your afternoon maps are good to go. Because afternoon maps, I'm pretty sure, is secretly the provider of the stamps for incarnate. And then incarnate, it's, in my opinion, it's pretty easy to make your own maps in that. So if you did need a few supplemental maps, that ain't a thing. And if you're not very good at making maps, you go onto Incarnate's gallery and you just grab maps that you need from the gallery. So if you're like, damn, they're going to be heading out to the desert, the adventure only includes a couple of maps, but they tell me I have to roll some random encounters in the desert, well, just go grab a couple of desert maps real quick from Incarnate's free community gallery, and they're going to match the style that you're already using in the adventure. It's pretty cool. And if you feel like back in afternoon maps, they are absolutely fantastic. And so that if you want to have some really nice supplemental maps for your adventure path, I definitely recommend. It looks like you're using that for your dragon layer. You got some afternoon maps there.
Yeah. I'm a afternoon maps is my favorite map maker.
Oh yeah. It paired beautifully in your Monster Hunter campaign because that was your backbone. Your skeletal system was afternoon maps, but then it was easy to supplement because you could either make your own in Incarnate or pick them up, and they all matched perfectly. So
yeah, the main thing I really like about afternoon map, one, the style is great and everything, but almost everything they make is like usually very, secretly, and they like hide it really well. Always grid based, where like I'm not when I'm walling it, I don't have to worry about having so many little tiny, slightly off the grid type of walling. So it makes prepping their maps really fast.
Like I love heroic maps, and I love that Star Destroyer map that we're using for Mythic right now. But even that Star Destroyer, it had just like organic like curves like to the walls and to a lot of the parts or whatever, and because it's like they could not resist kind of breaking the sort of tight grid that would have made walling it a lot easier. That was a lot of walling for fucking Star Destroyer. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, it's gorgeous and it matches like really really well with everything else. Look at that. That's awesome. And this was the one shot that you ran that had the vampire red dragon.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I listened to this one and I didn't get to see it. Ooh, I see that you've activated the really awesome status effects that go in a circle around the miniature. Can you zoom in on that? Damn, that looks so cool. Oh my god. Yeah, when I saw that on Reddit, I was like, I'm gonna get that right now. I have to go get that right now. And also look, your dragon, his wings are popping out of his frame big time, but he only registers as being that one square.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta ask, was he only this big in your adventure?
No, I think he might have got downsized when there was an update in the middle of an update because he was out here.
Okay.
He's supposed to be 2. Yeah, did his Oh yeah, the reason why he got small is because I deleted his actor.
Oh, that was fueling him. Okay.
Yeah, so like they made him tiny. He's not tied to an actor anymore. But yeah, and like the idea behind making a this is kind of like a way the system and the actual system and the Foundry model is set up is that they have rules about making a creature and turning any creature into a vampire. And increasing their level by 1, and then giving them certain abilities. They have like a standard list of, if you're making a vampire, give them this ability, do this adjustment to their stats. And so I don't have the actor anymore, but like inside the Foundry module, I'll go to one of the other creatures that I was using.
Here, make a giant rat into like a rat king or something.
Okay, yeah, we'll go to this giant rat.
Okay.
All right. So most likely it's gonna be make them elite, so they'll turn into a level 0 character. And then see if I want to make a vampire rat. Let's see, what was the vampire one? Just type in vampire. Vampire basics. So these are all the. This is vampire basics.
And you can just drag over some vampire abilities to it.
Yep. So
nice.
Vampire basic, blood drinker. You drag that over. It now has that action. Vampire basic. Vampire weakness. You give that. They have the weakness now.
Nice.
And then I think the last one was the. There's one more. Weakness, blood drinker, coffin restoration. So
yes. The giant rat loves to to retreat to his coffin at the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah. That's sweet.
It's pretty good.
I found a mod that was called Pathfinder Monster Builder. I didn't get to dig into it too much, but apparently it runs like the math for you, and you can sort of just build a monster on the fly. Sort of like what we were hoping to get from Giphy Glyphs at some point, but he just, and fairly, could not keep up with the Foundry production cycle. Man, like, I don't know. I don't want to dig into it too much because I'm trying so hard to run Alkenstar as written, and I really don't want to deviate from it too much.
If you want to run it as written, but still have the ability to mess with your monsters, use the actual rules for how you mess with a monster in the guide. Because a lot of it is like, hey, they have like a whole bunch of lists of like quick adjustments to your monster. If you want to make your monster like a vampire, you want to make your monster a giant, if you want to make your monster like a weird myth space that like gets powers from rumors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they have all those stuff in there, and it's a lot of it's just like here's a few abilities, take them over and bring them over. You can mix and match. And I give you rules about mixing and matching.
I think I have something installed called Creature Builder. Here we go. So with Creature Builder,
stop sharing. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We can't deprive the people of you petting your cat in like a James Bond villain-esque chair. So, let's see. How do I get back to just you without disconnecting entirely? Return to app. There we go. All right. So, I got this giant dragonfly. I don't know why I'm obsessed with this giant dragonfly, but I am. So I got this giant...
Its wings are popping out.
Yeah, and its wings are popping out, and so were my eyeballs when I saw it. They were popping out. So with this giant dragonfly, create the values of a creature from the values in the Game Mastery Guide. So what you were saying, I already have built in via a mod. I believe it's Pathfinder Toolbox? Workbench?
Yep.
Workbench.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could be like, nah, dog, this is like the strongest dragonfly, and I'm gonna call this, I don't know, Crash's giant dragonfly. So it's got like the highest possible dexterity and strength. It's just so crazy. But it's really stupid. So it's got abysmal intelligence, and it's got really high perception, and it's also got a extreme armor class. But if you could hit it, it's going to have low hit points. And I could go through here, and I could like choose all of these things, and then I can go ahead and build it, and then it will go through, and I believe it changed up the creature stats. Let's see. Or did it build a new one? Hold on. No, I think it's... create the values, blah, blah, blah. So I think it changed this one to increase its... Yeah, strength modifier is now up to a +6. Its dexterity is now at a +6. And I believe it lowered its HP... Yeah, so it did all the things that I asked it to do. It just kind of went through and changed everything up. And yeah, I just think that's really cool. So like, if you had a zombie, and the zombie was like of this NPC that they knew, and the NPC was like a big muscle dude in real life, you could just be like, oh, you know what, on this particular one, let's go ahead and jack that strength up a little bit, and you just hit the button, and it makes the adjustments for you. just
Yep.
on the fly. It's like really, really cool. I mean,
Yep.
admittedly, you can do that in 5e, Foundry. You can do that in 5e just by literally going to the stat and changing it. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, but I like that I have a way to do that in Pathfinder as well if I do need to make some adjustments to stuff like on the fly.
And the part about this is that it kind of keep like you have the for somebody who's maybe not as experienced, you have
Yeah.
the ruling and the system there to help guide you and like, okay,
Yep.
it's levels 4. Levels 4 is supposed to be this. Okay, what would be
Hmm.
a good strength for a strong person at level 4?
Right.
You know? And then you say, okay, yeah, it's supposed to be extra strong. So I'm gonna put extra strong, and the math is behind the scenes doing it for you. You don't have to know about that math yourself.
Yeah. It also lets you do like a roadmap here to set your
Hmm.
base values. So if you wanted to make the Dragonfly into a skirmisher, you could change it to that, and then that would readjust. See how dexterity went up because it's a skirmisher now? Reflex went up, fortitude went down. It did that adjustment automatically. And then if I hit build, it applies those changes. You see the AC has gone down from 24 back down to 20. Just like that, you can make those adjustments. So if you really wanted to get detailed and you had like a gang of goblins and you were like, well, I don't want all the goblins to be the same, you could say like, oh, well, the ones up here on the wall, they're they've got guns. The ones on the ground, they got chainsaws. So I'm gonna make the ones on the wall, archers, essentially, and then the ones on the ground I'm gonna make into brutes. And it's the same stat block, but it's got subtle changes. I love this because it's exactly what we wanted from Giphy Glyphs, and it's exactly what I used to have when I ran 4th edition, because they had online tools way back in the
Hmm.
day, and you could go in and say, yeah, I've got this goblin, but I need it to be a boss goblin, and it would walk you through how to make him a boss goblin, and then boom, you had the stats for boss goblin within seconds.
Yep.
Same thing happening here. I'm really into it. I'm very excited
Yep.
for it. Yeah. Ash says, one thing I'll mention is attributes for monster creation doesn't carry over to other stuff, so you need to keep that in mind. Okay. Well, what do you mean by other stuff?
Like I don't think it carried over to like acrobatics and all that stuff, honestly.
Oh, okay,
And
okay, okay.
your attack, your ability to attack and all that
Mm-mm-mm.
stuff. So like you upgrade their strength, it doesn't mean they're now hitting faster
Right,
or
right, right,
hitting
right,
more
right.
accurate.
Okay. Yeah, because
Like
that
like
because
the attack
that's
is
that stuff's tied to their level and things like that.
yeah, and also it's built into the actual attack, not actually it's not grabbing it from a stat. Like the
Right.
monster block, its chance to hit is based off of its, you know, stat. That's why some attacks
Oh,
are
so
like less.
so so that would be covered down here under strike attack bonus and strike damage
So
bonus.
you see how you made two other new melee attacks, but they're saying they're doing it at +0.
Yeah.
You know, default, you know, in 5e that would be automatically grabbing it from your strength or your
Okay.
you know dexterity. In this, the attack has its own plus to hit.
Got it.
It's not based off of any stats.
Oh, interesting.
Mm.
So when you're building it, you'd like want to go down and say if you're trying to make an extreme dragonfly, you would go to striking down here at the bottom, and give it extreme strike damage, and then build.
Yeah,
No.
you gotta give it. You have to the stats aren't determining everything else in the monster.
Oh.
Each thing is its own thing. Its attack is its own
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's it's skills is its own thing. It's
Gotcha.
all that stuff is its own thing.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm pretty excited about it. I wanted to go over some of the. Well, we're almost at time, but I haven't run it yet, but I'm pretty happy with like a lot of the mods that I found and installed for this. So like I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to running it, and I want to run this one shot, maybe one or two times at least, to not only see how the people that are applying for the game play together, but also to just practice with
Yeah,
the system, and practice
yeah.
with everything. But let's see, where were some of the mods that I installed that were pretty cool? Um,
I will say, I like there's like a good list of like just PF2 and then the mod
yeah,
name.
yeah. Down here, we got display actions, dailies, companion compendium, the shopping experience, exploration effects. the flat check mod. Yeah, I'm just there's so many cool things there. There's another mod called Monster Maker, but it was kind of junking up like the stat block, so I took it out. But it allows you, it does pretty much the same thing that Creature Builder was already doing, but with like a bit more features.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this workbench. This workbench is like it's
it's
like
the
monks or MIDI. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
MIDI for
it's the MIDI
5e.
yeah, it's the MIDI for Pathfinder 2.
Yeah, I'd almost say that workbench really isn't an optional mod. Like it's just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very very excited. I just can't wait. And then to get that those status effects that you saw in Dom's mini where they were kind of going around the outside of the mini, that is covered by
Heroku
the
UI.
Doroku UI, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I haven't tested it out yet, but in that they also have a
the
setting to make the UI smaller. So I don't know if we can get rid of if you can turn off minimal and turn it on. I haven't tested it out yet
I
to see
am
what's going
I
on.
am using minimal right
Yeah,
now.
I'm still
Yeah.
using minimal too. Yeah, but I don't know if because I don't have that setting turned on in Duraco, so I don't know if it's going to make a
Uh,
difference. That's one thing that I'm going to test out next time I get ready to start doing another Pathfinder game.
yeah, I'm very excited. I've got everything set up I think the way I want it to go, but I'll know for sure when I start actually running the games on the thing. But man,
Mhm.
it's very exciting. And
Oh,
then oh
one mod I think I told you about before was, and you might want to have because I know how you run your games
hmm
is the token color marker.
I saw that one. Yeah, token color marker. I thought I grabbed that one, but maybe not. I don't see it here.
Okay, because
Uh,
I know we're gonna need our magenta
oh yeah,
status.
yeah, yeah. I don't have that one on here.
You're not gonna have it
I tried
in
to get Cub to work here and I broke it, so that was
yeah
kind of fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I wanted to make a miniature able to fly. You know what I'm saying? Like I have
So
my little
so
dragonfly, and I wanted to be able to
you
fly.
you can do all of that, and it will be based off of automatic. The same way we set up the acted.
Yeah.
You have to do it that way
Well,
now.
yeah, I have a button down here to make the fly animation, but
Well,
oh,
no, like instead of making them like that, you
uh-huh.
can make it so that they have a status effect, and that status effect turns on, makes them fly.
You can make custom sass effects?
Well, no, like there's a you could any effect. So
Uh-huh.
like if you have the effect of fly on them,
Uh-huh.
uh, then you can put it in active in the what is it the automatic animations where there's active effects. You can just say fly and
Uh,
then make it so that it activates that macro.
Okay, so what? This action fly or the spell fly?
No, so like you have your you could I mean if you put the spell fly it's probably already going to do it. So like if you
All right.
use the spell fly, use the word the spell fly.
Yeah. And then drag it over to this dude?
Yeah, and I think that one's going to automatically do it
Hmm.
if you have automatic animations installed.
I do. Oh, spell effect fly. All right.
Yeah, the spell effect fly.
Oh, yeah, he starts farting out air and stuff around him.
Yeah, that's the one that's there. But if you want to change that,
Ah.
if you want that to be something you rather have,
Uh-huh.
you can go to uh, your settings.
Oh, you go to the spell effect itself. Okay. Something to drag
No,
on. Okay.
you can just go to like the automatic animations, open up that window that we looked at
Mm-hmm.
before when I was helping you with
Yeah, yeah.
your, and then go to active effects, and then
Okay.
there's probably one in there called fly.
Let's see. Launch active effects. All right, looking for fly. Oh, okay.
And then you can make that be whatever you want it to be.
Oh, and
You can
this
change
is
it.
how we could turn it on by adding the macro.
Yeah. So instead of it being on token or whatever, you can
Mm-hmm.
make it be add macro.
Okay.
So at the top there where it says that, sound only thing, you can make add
Uh-huh.
macro
Yeah,
and just
yeah. I
put
clicked
the name
add
of the macro
macro.
there.
Okay. And then concurrent with animation. Yeah. And then Insert macro name.
Yeah, just
Fly,
whatever your
fly
name is,
animation.
fly animation. Yeah,
Sweet.
put that there.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's
So now it
it.
should do your fly animation when you get the fly
All
effect
right.
on them.
Let's see. So we close this out, and then we hit save. All right. And then if I remove this effect, and I remove this effect, and then I go here, and I drag over fly. Hey, it works. Oh, that's pretty nice. Who needs Cub? That's a good attitude to have, since none of us are gonna have Cub pretty soon. Yeah. Oh man, nice. All right, I'm digging it.
So anytime you want to add a macro to a status effect or anything like that,
yeah, just go through automated animations. Okay.
And I'll go through automated animations. Yeah.
Hype. All right, beautiful. Well, we are at time. Do you have anything you want to add before we close it out? Like final verdicts, Pathfinder on Foundry. I think it's like peanut butter chocolate,
like
right? I mean,
yeah, I like it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to after CyberPunk to actually doing an actual campaign in Pathfinder and like running something.
Yeah,
going all in.
I definitely feel I feel hopeful, and I feel optimistic, and I feel excited to run a game in Pathfinder now. So yeah, it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be real good. All right. And on that note, I am running to the quick ad spiel. I am going to run 2 Outlaws of Alkenstar games starting in August. I'll be closing applications for those games next week, end of next week. So like a week from now ish. Yeah, so I will be making the decisions around the 6th or 7th of June. I'll announce the groups. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm a little heartbroken. I already got like 17, 18 people that have applied. I only have 2 4-player groups because I'm no longer going to run groups larger than 4 players. It's my job to balance out all the Critical Role fans that run 7 and 8-player groups. So yeah, I'm never running the 5-player plus group again unless I have a real good reason to do so. And one of the things, when I found out that Pathfinder 2e, their preferred number of players was 4, I was like, God damn. I feel like I'm coming home. That's some good stuff. That's good news. That's some good news right there. So, but yeah, it's not too late to apply for those games. Information's on the Discord or on my website actually. So you can check out either of those things.
No Outlaws Alkenstar Sunrise.
No, we got a sunset, we got a high noon. I am contemplating when Dragon's Dogma is over, instead of playing another video game, I am thinking about doing a mini series on Wednesday nights. So
I like having just like since I only do run one game a week and I'm playing in 2. I like having just maybe one day where I usually don't have something going on. But I always have it free, and if I need to, I can always just do a one shot. Just have a random one shot every once in a while. Yeah, so I think it's good.
Yeah. I liked what you did with the 20 sessions or less. Right, it was 20 sessions or less for Monster Hunter. Yeah.
When I did it for 20 sessions or less, yeah.
Yeah, so I would probably do a 10 to 15 game run. So, and I've got a few ideas. Right now, I'm like, it's in between Werewolf Vikings and a Breath of the Wild inspired game. Like, so basically, you play in that world, doing stuff in that world, but you could play as like, Gorons and fish people, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a fun world, and I think it could make for a pretty good mini series kind of thing. But I don't think it's strong enough to support an entire campaign. But I think it could have a really nice, like, you got to go to like 3 different dungeons to solve this mystery that's causing like bad shit to happen. Like that's a classic Zelda. That's a classic Zelda thing right there.
And 3 temples, get the MacGuffins, and then go to the final temple.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. I think that could be really fun. But I think if people found out I was
This
thinking
backstory.
about that, or a short adventure campaign about werewolf Vikings, and I didn't run werewolf Vikings.
I know
Yeah.
at least 2 people who will jump at the.
Yeah. Werewolf Vikings. Oh, that's a pretty
Mhm.
good story I got planned. Anyways, I gotta go. Dinner's ready.
Yep.
Tomorrow we got D&D. We got Solasta tomorrow night. 2 games of D&D on Sunday. Possibly the last game of Odyssey Prime on Monday. We got CyberPunk on Tuesday. We got Pathfinder on Tuesday. We got modded Dragon's Dogma. I'm very excited about that.
Oh man.
Very excited about modded Dragon's Dogma. We got Curse of Strahd on Thursday. We've got so many games going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm looking forward to Slash tomorrow. Have a good night, Dom. Have a good night, everybody who hung out with us in chat. If you're on the fence about Pathfinder, watch some of our Pathfinder stuff on the channel, on the server. If you decide you want to do Pathfinder, I'm gonna put it out there. I don't think there's a better tabletop to run Foundry on, or to run Pathfinder on than Foundry. Like, I don't think there's any way you're gonna get the value or the just the wow factor that you're gonna get running on Foundry. Hashtag not sponsored. Well, technically we are sponsored by the Forged VTT, but not not Paizo or anything. Anyways, all right, we're gonna go. Okay. Night.
Take care.